sat behind a heavy oak desk, gesturing for the brothers to take the two meager chairs opposite him. Now, Justin began, placing his fingers together. I've got all the basic details about your business career, etc. But what I'd like to do is to get an insight into the real you. How you started, how you became so successful, but more importantly, your lives and your raison d'etre. Dell leaned back, a wide, nostalgic smile spreading across his face. Entirely inappropriate for a man facing complete financial ruin. Ah, laboratoire garni, Dell replied smoothly, misusing the French phrase with total conviction. Justin blinked slowly. So, in your own words and in your own time. Well, where shall I start, Justin? Dell said, resting his hands on his belly. Up to a few years ago, we were just very ordinary people living, well, very ordinary lives, weren't we, Rodders? Rodney offered a bleak nod. Ordinary was an understatement. They had been market traders, scraping by on selling faulty VCers and luminous paint. And then, Dole's eyes shone with the memory of the golden days. As you know, one day I discovered a historic and almost priceless artifact, that old watch. The memory hung in the air of the Christie's auction, the hammer falling. The realization that they were instantly, unfathomably wealthy, over £6 million. The leap from the grimy streets of Peckham to the stratosphere of the global elite. At first, we didn't know what to do with it, Rodney chimed in, finding his voice. To begin with, we thought about donating it to the British Museum as a national treasure. Yeah, Dell chuckled. And then we decided to flog it. So, before you know it, Rodders and me have come in on an eye-watering £6.5 million. Well, after we divvied the dosh up, making sure our Uncle Albert got a nice little drink to keep him happy down on the coast. We thought of others first. We donated to charity. Enormously, of course. Justin wrote something down. His pen scratched against the paper like a rat clawing at wood. Eventually, we had to start thinking about our future, Dell continued, his tone taking on a defensive edge. So, we sought out this city stockbroker, posh bloke, braces, slick hair, the lot. He advised us to invest in a new and vibrant venture. It was a Central American market. He said it was attracting massive funds from all over the world. For a while, we were making more money than the Royal Mint. We weren't flash, though, Rodney added quickly, seeking validation from the unsmiling official. Oh, no, 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 we weren't flash. Dell agreed vigorously. I mean, even when we went away on business, we always took the family with us. There would be me and Raquel, my significant other, and, of course, Rodney and his wife Cassandra, and not forgetting my young son, Damien. Chapter 2, The Ivory Tower Falls. As Dell spoke, Rodney's mind drifted back to the apex of their wealth. The memories were vivid, painted in hues of azure seas and clinking champagne flutes. He remembered a particular afternoon at a luxury resort in Monte Carlo. The sun had been blindingly bright, reflecting off the Mediterranean. Dell had been holding court at a poolside table, wearing a Hawaiian shirt that cost more than their old flat, ordering expensive cocktails while Raquel tried to enjoy the tranquility. But there had been no tranquility. Little Damien, Dell's pride and joy, had been a terror in designer clothing. "Ralph, you've got to have a word with Damien," Raquel had sighed, using the waiter's name as if they were old friends. "People are complaining." "Oh, no. What's he done now?" Cassandra had asked, peering over her sunglasses. "He's just peed in the swimming pool," Raquel said, exasperated. "Oh, bleep it out, Cassandra," Dell had laughed, waving away the concern. "All little boys do enjoy a splash in the swimming pool, don't they?" "Yes, Derek," Cassandra had replied tightly, "but not from the top of the 4-meter diving board. He's a little git." Rodney remembered the sickening lurch of anxiety that had always bubbled beneath the surface of their luxury. He hadn't been allowed to gamble, drink to excess, or visit discos, per Cassandra's strict instructions to keep him grounded. But Dell had known no such limits. "I feel lucky tonight," Dell would shout, popping corks of vintage Bollinger. But luck is a fickle mistress, and the Trotters' luck had an expiration date. The end came not with an explosion, but with a whisper, a sudden chill in the warm Central American wind. The stockbroker's frantic phone calls that Dell, in his arrogance, had ignored while water skiing in Nice. Rodney snapped back to the present, listening to Dell explain the collapse to Justin. It turned out that negotiations between the Central American countries had collapsed. Dell was saying, his voice uncharacteristically hollow, "The market was wiped out. Nicked the lot. We'd even paid for the hotel on a credit card. A credit card which had, we discovered at the checkout desk, now been withdrawn. Suddenly, all our so-called business associates wouldn't return our calls," Rodney added, the sting of betrayal still fresh. "We were cast into a financial wilderness, about as long as it took for someone to push a button on the internet. The money was gone." Justin flipped a page on his clipboard. "There is a name that crops up every now and then in these documents. Michael Fisher, landlord of a public house, the Nag's Head, Peckham. What part did he play in the proceedings?" Dell looked down at his shoes. "Well, Mike invested his life savings in our venture. He actually remortgaged the pub." "I see. And will Mr. Fisher be giving evidence?" "No," Dell said quietly. "He's in prison. He's awaiting trial. The fraud squad claims that he tried to recoup his losses by embezzling the brewery. Never was a man more innocent," Rodney lied smoothly. "A reflex born of years living on the wrong side of the Trading Standards Authority. I take it Mr. Fisher will be pleading not